Images said to show the moment a Russian warplane was shot down in a rebel-held zone of northern Syria. The pilot ejected by parachute, the Russian Defense Ministry said. Tahrir al-Sham, a jihadist group spearheaded by the former Syrian branch of al-Qaeda, claimed responsibility, saying one of its fighters had scored a direct hit with a shoulder-launched anti-aircraft missile. In a statement, it said, "Let the criminal invaders know that our skies are not a picnic and they will not pass through without paying a price." The Sukhoi 25 came down in part of Idlib province that's seen airstrikes and ground fighting between Syria's government forces backed by Russia and Iran and rebel groups. TASS quoted Russian authorities as saying Moscow retaliated for the downing with a strike from an undisclosed high-precision weapon that killed over 30 militants.
أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر ينزل من المظلة من الطائرة التي تم تدميرها الله أكبر روجي بارود يروح إذا وصل يمنا واضربوه روجي بارود يجي يضرب طيار الله نزل على الأرض نزل رشاش في سماء ريف معرة النعمان الله أكبر والعزة لله. الآن يقوم الحرب الروسي الثاني في المناورة لإنقاذ الطيار الذي تم إسقاطه.
Cyprus President Nikos Anastasiadis has won a second five-year term as voters kept faith with him after he steered the island through an economic meltdown in 2013. The Conservative swept aside his leftist-backed rival Stavros Malas, taking 56% of the vote. Anastasiadis had started out as favourite. Along with his handling of the economic crisis, he has won approval for his attempts to reconcile with estranged Turkish Cypriots on the ethnically split island. Although peace talks collapsed last year, both candidates were viewed as pro-settlement. It's the second time Malas has lost out to Anastasiadis. He came second to him 5 years ago.
Another night of Russian air raids across Syria's northern Idlib province. On Sunday, rescue workers in the town of Kafr Nubal rushed to put out fires and dig through rubble in the search for survivors. In the provincial capital, Idlib city, one witness said a 5-story building was leveled and at least 15 people were feared dead. Several other deaths and dozens of injuries have been reported across the province. In the city of Marat al-Numan, civil defense workers rushed babies and other patients out of a damaged hospital. In December, the Syrian army, backed by Iranian militia and Russian air power, launched a major offensive to retake Idlib. It's Syria's last and most densely populated province, still mainly under opposition control. Russian jets have intensified their strikes on Idlib after Syrian militia shot down a Russian warplane on Saturday and killed its pilot. Russia says it is targeting Islamist militants, not civilians.
I think she'd say some aspects are fantastic. Women in leadership positions, a woman prime minister, and at the same time they'd be saying, honestly, 100 years later and you're still fighting this particular battle, or there's so much still needs to be done. So I think they'd be urging us on. I think they'd be saying, you know, don't just accept where we're at, because we could be so much better.
What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now!
On Monday, consumer advocates urged the Trump administration to resume an investigation into how Equifax failed to protect the personal data of millions of consumers. This after Reuters reported the head of the U.S. consumer watchdog has pulled back on the existing probe. Reuters reported Monday that Mick Mulvaney has dialed back the investigation begun by his predecessor, Richard Cordray. Mulvaney is head of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Specifically, sources said Mulvaney has held back from ordering subpoenas against Equifax. The orders are routine in launching a full-scale probe. Meanwhile, the CFPB has shelved plans for on-the-ground tests of how Equifax protects data. That idea had been backed by Cordray.
Terlebih dahulu untuk outro espaço comercial, ora nos back e deporte.